where I was talking to a bunch of friends of mine in a different chat, and I called when Bitcoin was at 55K. I said it was going to be 25K before the end of the year, and right now it's at 27. I'm
Nice,
revising that. I think it's going to be 20.
nice, awesome. Right. So with futures, nothing actually out of ordinary. We kind of knew that futures would come down. They did. And, 39 was where I was looking for. They pushed down a little bit further. Good for us. So I think I'm not sure where SPY is trading, by the way. Let me quickly check. 389. So yeah, nothing out of the ordinary here. We knew because why nothing out of the ordinary? Because of this guy. This is Apple 143. We were waiting for this to happen, and this did happen, and it's pushing down for a little bit further down. So fair enough. So that's the effect that is it is having on all of other things, and we knew Apple would come down into 143. There was no question about it. It did take a little bit of time, but it did come into that number. Futures getting oversold here. Does that mean a bounce? Yeah, that will mean that will be a bounce because Apple will come back here and start to do that bitching dance again. So, it will be playing around this line. However, Apple is bound towards this line now, 137.55. This is where Apple is going. And after that, we will reassess the situation. We'll figure out where it is going. But till then, I think this will act as solid support. It's been building a support since December. So just like it acted as support here at 152, it took a while to break that. I'm pretty sure that this is going to act the same way. But in fact, if selling, intensifies, then we would see this break, pretty quickly and push into this number, 137. Not really seeing Apple pushing below 137 as of now, but if it does actually push below this thing, I will keep you guys updated, and then we'll jump into the monthly chart. So right here, the mean is playing out. What happens after the mean plays out? This is where it's gonna go, right? 137, so 140 and 137. 137 is coming from the weekly, and this 140 is coming from the monthly. So these lines, the mean and the 21, should act as solid support, but make no mistake, there is still a lot of downside for Apple. Right? Apple has just started crossing on the MACD, so that's a good thing. And this technicals will play out the way they're supposed to play out. 136, 137. Yeah, this is where I think this is where it is headed. But for now, mean, then we'll look for 140 to the downside. And then that breaks, then we'll look for this 136, 137. Right now, I'm not plotting anything below that. But if it starts to push down, maybe we are looking for a push into this number, 120. But as of now, not looking for this. As of now, not looking for 120. But this prophecy, I mean, this thesis needs to work out, right? Enter the inner Bollinger Band, hits the mean completes and pushes down, and then we're looking for this number, 136, 137. So that is the reason I was looking for that app, S&P 375, or sorry, 3750 or something. Yesterday I posted that number, so that's the reason I was looking for that number. Apple has room to the downside, and so the markets will follow. And if Apple and Microsoft pushes down, you can't really, there's nothing much you can do about anything. Everything will come down with it. Just going by the Dow theory, yeah. And Apple and I mean the industries these days share a lot of components, mainly the Apples and Amazons, sorry, Apples and Microsoft, and your Boeing and all that stuff. So yeah, and these components push down, indices starts to push down. So that's what we are seeing happening here. And I am still sitting at this number. So this number is done, right? 3,900 is done. And now I'm sitting at this number, 3685. Will that happen? Yeah, debatable. Uh, and let's see to the downside, futures, if it can come down, then this is where I'm watching 37. This is where that number is coming from, 3750 or something like that. So Apple starts to push down below around 137. We will see 37 on this thing, futures and the markets as well. But let's open up Apple and well, to the upside. Let's go look for the upside here. I don't know if there's an upside, but if there's an upside, if there's a short covering rally comes into picture and the 3906 needs to clear, then we are looking for a test of 3920. If that clears, there is a solid resistance around here, 3932. But just in the event it clears 3932 and starts to knock around 3938, yeah, we will take notice of this thing and then revise our readings to the upside. To the upside, the mean is sitting here. This would act as solid resistance, and I'm expecting this to actually come back into the mean, simply because there's oversold conditions here. I'm expecting it to come back into the mean and then probably push down from there. But for that to happen, we know how it goes. 5 needs to clear, 8 needs to clear. Then we're looking for the test of this Bollinger Band. If it starts to come back in the Bollinger Band, mean, and then this number. Cool thing. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Beyond that, there's no point looking for an upside. If it actually starts to come back into 3938 and clears that number, then we'll start to look for 400, sorry, 4,000. But as of now, we are not plotting that. But there are bright chances of a short covering rally coming up. I see all around these technicals being oversold, and we still have this candle has left. It's the price has left its five basically. There's nothing holding this thing, so I'm expecting it to actually come back in. Will that happen? That remains to be seen. There are bright chances of that happening. I see three purple bars here now starting to get a red bar, and then most likely we'll get another green bar. So at least that's how the technicals should work out. But I mean, just like this, see that red, 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 and then we get a green. So expecting that to happen. Uh, but how far the rally would go, I don't know. Am I pricing in 100 points on SPX? Maybe not. Maybe a stretch, but not far fetched. 3980 is where the five is sitting. If it gets to that, and if that clears, then we're looking for a push into 4,000 and 35 perhaps. But let's see how it goes. 3938 is what I'm watching. If that clears, then we'll reassess the situation. Apple on the long side of Apple, I mean on the long higher time frames, yeah, we know how it's going to go down. And Apple 137 is where almost majority of, not almost, but let's say majority of the market participants who understand charting, who understand technicals, this is where they're sitting, 136, 137. And this is how the price is going to progress. The mean, the 21, and then the lower Bollinger Band. That's on the monthly. And on the weekly side of things, this is where it is sitting right now. And this was pretty much given, right? We knew that if on the high regular candles, if it breaks here, 151 something, and then this is the next stop for that. We knew this stuff. And if it breaks here, this is the next stop. This is it. Nothing, and one thing that you need to notice here is this guy, 8 below 21. This happened, and that is the reason I was super confident that it will break this number this time around, and it will start to push down. That's what is happening here. 8 over 20, 8 below 21 has happened. Now I think at least the bots will have a field day with it, starting to push down this thing. And this is a weekly chart, not even a daily chart. So weekly chart, 8 below 21 happened. So let's see how much of a downside there is. This number is pretty much given now. 137 is pretty much given. Would we get into 97? Well, I don't know. If that happens, it is absolute carnage, and most people will lose a lot of money on a lot of things. Retail will get stuck with all of this stuff. So be very careful while you are thinking about catching, the bottom, or trying to buy the bottom. No, I mean, I don't know. So be very careful with all that stuff. I don't think the bottom is in yet. So wait for that. Wait for that. So even if it reverses, let's say it doesn't go down here, even if it reverses and runs all the way till here, you just want to be a buyer of maybe from here to here, right? You don't want to catch it right here, or you don't want to exit right here. You still want to be just in the game, so that you're entering and exiting. You're not taking that "Yeah, I'm going to buy and hold." You're not taking that approach now. This is not the time for that. Coming back to Tesla, yeah, I don't know. I know that some people doubted this thing when Tesla was around 850, or I think 912 or something. A couple of days back, then I was telling that it's going to go here. 950 was my target, in fact. But I think a couple of people were saying no to that, and here we are. So I think it's gonna bounce around here, major moving average support and whatnot. And after that bounce, I still think this is where it is headed. And Apple pushing into its 200 and Tesla pushing into its 200. Yeah, a lot of tears. This is this will make a lot of people cry. That's for sure. No doubts about that. And I think Tesla will test 640 or something, but this is not going to happen just right away. 400 is not going to give us, it's not going to give us 400 right away, right? It's going to be a battle. People have been holding that thing for long. And here, so this is how it's going to progress right here, right? We knew the mean. We again knew this concept. Comes right into this inner Bollinger Band, hits the mean. Once it hits the mean, the chances of hitting a lower Bollinger Band, lower inner Bollinger Band are exponential. That's the phenomenon that we are seeing here. And should that break below, then we are pushing into these numbers, 600. And this is pretty much, at this point, this is a done deal. Unless Apple does something and it starts to push up and propping up the markets. But if if you let the open markets play out, this is what we're looking at, 596. So 600 is pretty much a done deal now. If that breaks, then we're looking for a push into 500. That breaks, we're looking for a push into 400s. So now you see my thought process, where I was coming from when I was saying 400. This is it. So yeah, nothing major, nothing complicated, just looking at the charts and numbers. That is it. And Microsoft, we knew Microsoft will push down, and this is the number we were looking for, and Microsoft had to push down even from that number, and we are looking for Microsoft to push into right about here, right? So we were looking for this number, and it got pushed down from there. Now we are looking for this 256, and most likely a bounce around here, 255, 256 area. But if that breaks, yeah, yeah, this is where it is headed, 231 or something. But right now, not really plotting any of this stuff. Tesla 400, or Tesla, even Tesla 500, not really plotting that. That was a little bit far fetched of a thought process. But yeah, the thought process is still there. The structure is still there. But right now, I don't know how to deal with Microsoft. I understand Apple, I understand Tesla. I don't know how to deal with Microsoft. Microsoft might bounce here, and if Microsoft fails to bounce here, then we're looking for a push into 231, but not really looking for that to happen super soon. It will take a bit of time for Microsoft to actually come back into that number. But make no mistake, the downtrend is still intact, right? We are still having this crossover on the MACD channel, and sorry, MACD lines, and the histogram is still suggesting a bit of a downside for all of that stuff. And always, if you're trading on a higher time frame, always go by what MACD is saying. However, that all being said, we see this number, we see this histogram here, red bar, lower red bar, then another smaller red bar, and perhaps that means it is easing now, right? So we all know, understand that stuff. And I don't know if the selling intensifies. Yeah, baby will be thrown out with the bathwater. But barring that scenario, I think we are in a good shape. Now, another point that I want to bring up is this guy. This guy, and no prices, absolutely no prices. If you can tell where it is going, right? and we all understand this is going to hit this number, right? 21 is coming. I think a couple of weeks back, even last month, I think we were talking about Bitcoin 10,000, and some eyebrows were raised there. But yeah, it is happening. So let's look for 21.8, and then after that, we are still bound to this destination, right? Sub 10. And I don't believe that Bitcoin is even worth 10 cents. Uh, I mean, I did not find any utility so far with this thing, or for that matter, any other coin. Uh, and Yeah, it is what it is, and there was no reason for us to believe that it was worth 60,000. No reason for me to believe it is even worth $6. There's no reason for me to believe even it's worth 60 cents. So yeah, you have it. Make whatever you will of that information. Yeah, let's get into 10-year. And the 10-year on the monthly, we kind of knew that this was, this situation is not super uh, stable, that, this thing needed to come down, and it is coming down. Now, what are we looking for? If 10-year continues to push down, then we are looking for a hit of 2.74. Might be a tech rally, might be a tech rally, but again, in the long term, thinking long term, this is bad. This is super, super bad. Even with Fed raising 50 bips, it's unable to prop up the 10-year. That means it is super bad. And 10-year is the smartest money out there. It follows technicals and whatnot, but 10-year is the smartest money out there. Credit markets are, you don't really find, a lot of retail traders in credit markets. So credit markets are still, you might want to call them still sane, or there is some sanity in there. Not to say that those are foolproof or something like that, but there is still a certain degree of sanity still remaining there. Whereas the stock market is not. It's pretty much a gambling parlor at this moment. And I think institutions did not like a bit of that, all of that GME, AMC nonsense. And, I don't think it sat well with institutions. And more and more I look at it, it looks like a revenge sort of a thing with the institutions. I don't know. That's the feeling I get. Unless, I mean, there's no reason for it to push down this hard, this fast. It at this moment it seems like, yeah, let's fuck everybody else from the institutions. So yeah, I think that's how it is happening, and this is pretty much indiscriminate at this point. Amazon trading at 2100 is absolute nonsense. I mean, what are we thinking? There's no growth coming in Amazon? No, this is the company that will grow. Doesn't matter what. And Google trading at these numbers, 22 cents. No, this is not. Especially with Amazon at this price, you are getting a fucking deal here. But yeah, it is what it is. The way numbers will play out, the numbers will play out. There's no other way. And as per technicals, we still are looking at further downside. And here is where it is headed. Most likely, if it breaks a 5, then we'll look for a push into the 8. If it breaks 8, and then we are looking at some trouble. We are definitely looking at some trouble on 10-year side. And let's look at 10-year daily. If there's a bottom, nope, nope. We're still going to push down, and this will look at this. This crossover happened. That means there's still downside to it. And I think if it breaks right here, 2.8, then we're looking for a push into 2.73. And if the theory were, if the theory was that interest rates come in, and the tech would, push higher, but that theory has failed right on its face. The interest rates have come in, it broke below 3, and now it is pushing down into 2.7, 2.8. So that should have given tech, the rally that it needed. But no, it's again, the institutions understand this stuff, that 10-year coming down is not a good thing. right? This is a recessionary. So if it continues to push down, next step is 2.72. And industrials will take a hit if this starts to happen, and Dow will start to push down. And if that breaks here, then you're looking for a push into 2.6. Then most likely it will come into 2.6 and perhaps 2.54. And that is a big deal actually. 0.25 bips. It's actually down. That is a big, big, big deal. And that's the reason you're seeing that market, relentless selling on markets. Uh, Oil just orb. Okay, did we do SPX? No, we haven't.
Darth,
Let's
is there
do
any place that the market is using as like a safe haven for the money?
mostly if you're an investor, you can look to hide in the consumer staple names. But if not, if you're a trader, there's just no way, just go blindly short. Right, so this is SPX, and right now I think SPX should be trading around somewhere around here, 38.90, somewhere around here, 38.90 range, 38.90, probably 38.87 range. That's where it should be trading at, uh, right about here. So, what are we looking for the upside? SPY is oversold here, right? Clearly, it is oversold, and hopefully, I'm sharing the correct screen. And now we are looking for, this is the 1 hour chart, and then we are looking for 391, and if it clears there, we are looking for 392, and that means that 39 right about here, we're looking for, where is that, 390. So it's trading right around here now, 38.90 something. And then if it comes back in, we're looking for a push into 39.13, and then perhaps 39.43. Uh, so this is how it's going to progress. I'm not even looking for a push into 39.60 or something, but 39.38 seems to be an interesting number, and right about here. So five cleared on the 15, five cleared, eight cleared. Now we are looking for a push into 391.70. So right about here, right? So this is if it comes in, this is where it is going to go, the inner second standard deviation. And then I'm not, no, 39.40, even that is a stretch. Let's see, let's get it to this number. If the mean clears at 391, so 39.90 on 39 3900, sorry, 3900 on SPX. If that clears, we are looking for a push into 3920. Let it clear 3920, then we'll look for an upside. And the downside, we know how it's going to go, but just in case we don't know, we forgot or something, let's plot that thing as well. So, and this is the only chart that we're looking at right now. If it breaks here, then we're looking for a push into this number right here. 3770 is what we're looking for. And Apple 137 will easily put it there. 200 points or maybe 150 points to the downside. Apple 137 will easily do the job. So 3776 to the downside. But if you want to look at it, maybe a little, not that of a range, not that big of a range, then do we have anything that supports any price? No, there's nothing that is supporting any price anywhere. Yeah, the 1 year is exhausted. So let's see the technicals develop. I don't really have anything, right now. More, 37. This is the number that I have, 37.85 or something like that. I don't really have anything closer, but maybe we could look for maybe this doji here, 38.82, the top of this doji, 38.82, because this is a misplaced doji, and the price will have to come back to test the misplaced doji. At least that's the theory says. So we could look for a test of 38.68 or something like that, 38.60 range. So from where it is right now, 3900 or 3990, sorry, 3890, we are looking for 30 points to the downside into 3860. If that breaks, then pretty much 3780 is a given number at this point. If it breaks below this top of this doji. So this is the misplaced doji, and this will come back and test this doji. At least the theory says that. All right, cool thing. Any further comments, concerns, any data points anybody has to share? Anybody? 3866 is 1 week. Yep, there you go. And one other point about that crypto thingy. Seems like the tether is breaking the peg value of dollar. It's not trading at $1 anymore. It used to trade at dollar 05, 1.05. Now it has broken below one, and I think it's trading now at the 0.95. So the dollar will not now $1 will not give you one USDT. It's less now. So we will go through that a little bit later, and because that's not our main focus, trading is our main thing. So, but we will. I think we need to discuss that stuff as well. All right, guys. So, good luck with everything today, and I'll see you in Sanity.